Welcome to the peak of Pikes Peak. We are at the summit and it is beautiful. It's brisk. It's like 37 degrees right now. We're gonna go walk around. We'll go into the gift shop and check it out. The reason why I'm not climbing Pikes Peak, well, let me show you. So they got a little bit too much snow, and well, I'm from San Antonio and they don't even sell snow equipment that I need to trek up here. So I'm going to orientate myself here real quick and see what we got. So we got the interpretive story of the Arkansas River, the interpretive story of the Garden of the Gods, site orientation, cog railway, the Catherine Bates sign. It's going to show us where the reservoirs are, Colorado Springs and Manitou, Denver, Mount Evans, summit history of the elevation, a couple other little markers. So we'll see what we got. Colorado has more than 50 summits that rise above 14,000. They're called 14ers, but fewer are accessible like Pikes Peak. So the railway and the highway make it possible for visitors to get up here relatively easy. The mountain is also the site of several annual events, including the marathon and the international auto race. So if you saw those little barriers on the right hand side, they're doing an auto race. They're going to race up the hill, the Pikes Peak. So fortunately, I was able to get up here before the race because it's shut down for that time. So since 1891, the Broadmoor, Manitou, and Pikes Peak Cogway has made it possible for people to come up here. So that's pretty cool. So over 100 years of the Cog Railway. I'm actually doing that today too. So I'm going back down and I'm coming up on the Cog because I was supposed to summit today, and I reserved the Cog just in case I was beat and I didn't want to walk down the 13 miles. But since I'm not climbing it because of the snow, I'm just taking it up and coming back down. So Pikes Peak tells a distinctive American story. The natural beauty and the resources of Pikes Peak has attracted people from all across Europe and America. By the mid 1800s, pioneers and prospectors, they came out here and enjoyed it. That was the Cog Railway coming up with a snowblower to clear up the rail on the way up. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna flip it around here and we're gonna look at the Continental Divide. I'm gonna try to get out there maybe tomorrow. It depends on a few things. So I'm gonna try the incline again today. I tried it yesterday and the elevation killed me. So I got about 3/4 of the way up. I got to right where it started to be working its way to the 68-degree incline, and yeah, so then we got 2L for me. But here's the Continental Divide. Magnificent, isn't it? And what's awesome is the last time I was up here, I was actually getting dizzy from the altitude, and knock on wood, I'm feeling pretty good. So I think that me walking around Cripple Creek at the 9,000 feet mark and doing some other stuff in the 8,000s is kind of helping me out. So hopefully today when I do the incline, I'll be good to go. And I'm walking around and climbing 2 different stories. This is phenomenal. It's cold, but it's phenomenal. Right behind me is the Kathy Lee Bates Memorial, and it's got the America the Beautiful. So she came up here and she just was mesmerized by the beauty up here. And she went to the Antlers Hotel where I'm staying at, and she went up there, and that's where she wrote America the Beautiful. She was inspired from here, and on her way down she took notes, got back to the Antlers, and made America the Beautiful. No, I didn't know that until I got to the hotel, and the hotel actually has the Kathy Lee Bates suite, so it's able to, you're able to stay in the same room that she was in on her way to creating America the Beautiful. Sorry, it's just mesmerizing up here. Now when you get up here, you can drive up here like I did, and it was $15 to come up here, and you can also, I think it's $38, you can drive up, and I think it's mile 7, and take the shuttle up. So if you didn't want to drive and you want to just look at the beauty, or if you didn't want to be the one driving and looking down at the sheer cliffs. But there's a couple different ways, and then you got the cog railway. So there's 3 really different ways to get up here that don't involve you climbing it from either Cripple Creek or from Pikes Peak using the bar trail. So I don't know if you can tell from here, this angle or not, but the snow is coming up to my mid-thigh. So probably about 2.5 to 3 foot. And in some areas, it's over 5 foot. Not very good for making a snowball. So out here, you can see Denver. It's a little hazy, but out there is Denver due north. And it was founded in 1858, and the city traces its roots to the Colorado Gold Rush in the 1850s. Now, unlike many boomtowns, however, Denver outlasted the mining craze and went on to become a political and cultural center in Colorado. Now you can enjoy the view, but beware, Pikes Peak Bottomless Pit is a 1,500 foot drop. It's just a few steps ahead. Whew. So 1,500 feet from here all the way down to where those trees are at. Yeah, I don't think I'll be skiing down that. Now here in Colorado, the Fort Laramie Treaty in 1851 allocated the area around Denver to the Arapaho and Cheyenne people. And as miners flooded Colorado, there were violent conflicts that erupted. And before the arrival of pioneers, the eastern foothills of the Rocky Mountains were occupied by the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute people, and seasonally by other tribes. In the mid-1800s, miners and pioneers displaced Native American people. They built small settlements that grew into mining and agricultural hubs, and these towns became destinations for people looking for adventure and the great outdoors. Spanning from central Colorado to southwest Wyoming, these cities made up the region known as the Front Range Urban Corridor today. This place is so beautiful. I know I keep saying that, but it's like the reservoirs, seeing the cities. It's insane. I love it. In this area, it's hard to see, but you'll see the scorched trees out there. And that was due to the 2012 Waldo Canyon fire, and more than 18,000 acres of Colorado Springs west side left the area scorched. If you look over those canyons, you can see Manitou Springs and then Colorado Springs further in the background. Get a little bit of snow up here. There wasn't supposed to be any up here when I got up here, but on Mother's Day they got a crazy storm, and then just 2 days ago they had another storm up here that dropped more snow. You just know how it goes. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. You just never snow. So in all my research of climbing Pikes Peak, I heard about the donuts, so I had to try them out. If you can only get these by climbing Pikes Peak, I'd climb Pikes Peak. So if you were wondering how the employees get up here, they take company-owned vehicles and they get shuttled up here. So they don't have to walk, they don't have to take the cog, and they don't have to drive their own vehicles up here, which I'm sure would be very maintenance intensive with going down the hill, the mountain, sorry. Well, I climbed that stack of rocks. Pretty good view. Let's check it out. Don't want to slip. Long drop. Well, hopefully I can find my way down without slipping. This long drop. It's beautiful up here. For sure. Well, that was rather disappointing. I was expecting to be in the brake check, but they didn't check the brakes. So I'm just gonna keep on going. I've been doing good though, so I don't need the brake check. I've been staying in low gear. So when you're coming down Pikes Peak, you wanna make sure you stay in a low gear. That way the gears can take care of reducing your speed versus you having to apply your brake all the time. The first time I came up here in I was a young driver and I didn't know to do that, so I got put in the brake check hot brake club. So I had to pull over for like 30 minutes and then they had to test my brakes again to make sure I could drive. The brake check club, it can be fun. It could be a delay and a pain in the butt too. So in between mile markers 10 and 11, right about 400 feet or so before the Catamount Reservoir turnoff, you're gonna have a pull off on your left-hand side if you're going up, and it's gonna give you this. It's a beautiful view. We're currently in the Ute Pass. Now, this Ute Pass was where the Ute Native Americans would travel through. They would come through the springs, Manitou and Colorado, on their way to the Great Plains to hunt buffaloes. Then the Spanish and American explorers followed the trail. Major Long's expedition in 1820 stopped for lunch for bison ribs near the springs at the bottom of the pass. And in his diary, he noted a large and frequented road passes the spring and ascends into the mountains. Gold prospectors by the thousands led their burros up the old trail, followed by freighters hauling supplies to the gold camps. Timber cutters, ranchers, and the first standard gauge railroad to cross the Rocky Mountains would end their way right up here. El Paso County was named for this important route that would become the first ocean-to-ocean highway. In the recent area, right, which was the resort town of Cascade, just below us, would have seen the tower of the famous Ramona Hotel, the summer retreat of presidents and politicians. The town of Cascade, it backed the Colorado Midland Railway and helped to build the carriage road to the summit of Pikes Peak. Pretty interesting, huh?